I'm Karen Davis, culinary specialist with the Taste of Home Cooking School, and today I am joined by my niece Grace here in our kitchen. Thanks for being here, Grace. I appreciate it.
Thank you for letting me come on this video.
Absolutely. Well, we decided we were going to make a recipe for dinner tonight and thought we would share it with all of you. So we're going to be making a chicken Caesar pizza. And the first thing we need is the pizza crust. And so we're just using the kind in the refrigerated tube. And so Grace is going to help us by taking that out of the tube here. And we're going to put it into our baking pan. It is a 15 by 10 by 1 inch baking pan. So it would be the size of pan you might use to make brownies, for instance. So she's just going to unroll that, and it's going to be in a big rectangle, and we're going to pat it out into the bottom of the pan, and then we're going to be placing this in a 400-degree oven for about 10 minutes. And that will give it a chance to start baking up and firming up before we put our toppings on. So, okay, we are back and 10 minutes have gone by. Our crust came out of the oven and it looks wonderful and it smells great too, doesn't it, Grace? Okay, and over here in our skillet, Grace is going to help us with cooking our 1 pound of chicken. And so we're going to first start with this. And what do we have here, Grace?
Olive oil and butter.
Okay, excellent. And the recipe calls for just olive oil, but I like to use a combination of both olive oil and butter because I love the flavor that the butter gives.
So you're going to need a pound of chicken to cook it.
Excellent. So Grace, do you do a lot of cooking at home?
Well, normally I do, but I really love to do muffins.
Okay.
It's easy and fun to do. So I think muffins are good.
Yes, and I know that you kind of have a sweet tooth, so.
I do. I love sweets, so
yes.
It's one of my favorite things.
Yep, your Aunt Karen does too. So we should tell everybody, Grace, how old you are and what grade you're in.
Well, I'm 9 and I'm in 4th grade.
Yeah, excellent. You're having spring break this week.
Yeah, so I wanted to come over to Uncle Scotty and Aunt Karen's house, so we're really having fun. And we cooked a lot.
Yeah, what did we have for breakfast this morning?
Well, we had pancakes and eggs, so.
And you helped with both of those things. Yeah. We're going to be adding a clove of garlic, and we want to mince that up. And so we're going to be using a garlic press to do that. And if you haven't worked with fresh garlic before, and that might be something new for you, I'm not sure.
Yep.
Okay.
So I'm going to try it.
Yeah, okay. So this is a bulb of garlic, and we want just one section of that for the 1 clove. And we're going to use a little bit more later on in the recipe of the rest. Then the garlic is going to shoot out the side here, and we can just scrape this off into the skillet. I like to put it in towards the end because if you put the garlic in right at the beginning, sometimes as it's in the skillet, it could either fade away, or the other thing that can happen is it will actually turn almost kind of black and burn, and it can give a bitter taste. Yeah, that would not be good. So we don't want that to happen. Okay.
I want your smoke alarms to go off.
Yeah, I don't think Uncle Scott will like that. Okay, no smoke alarms. Now, the other thing that Grace is going to be adding to her chicken mixture is some creamy Caesar dressing. And we're going to be using 2 tablespoons of that in your chicken mixture, and that's going to add some nice flavor to our chicken. And you really don't have to add any salt and pepper even. This is with the garlic and this dressing, it's going to give some great flavor.
Yeah, it's going to make your taste buds go to heaven.
I love it, Grace. I tell you what, you're going to have my job one day. I can feel it.
I love cooking, so.
Meantime here, while you're working on that, I have 3 more tablespoons of that creamy Caesar dressing, and I'm going to take it and use that as our sauce on top of our pizza crust. And to that, Grace, I added a little more of that minced garlic. Okay, so that is, I have my sauce down on the crust here. Maybe I should hold that up so everybody can see. I just spread that evenly.
Delicious.
Is it looking good? Okay.
So does this chicken. It smells very good.
I am so glad to hear. Now we are going to top this with half of our cheese. Okay.
And it's called Colby Jack cheese.
Yes.
I almost said Colby Jack cheese.
Colby Jack. And we're using some Colby Jack here. You can also use just a Monterey Jack.
Monterey.
Yeah. I like that idea of pepper jack. That would add a little extra zip to it.
Yeah, and the cheese adds a little flavor.
Love it.
And it tastes very good with it.
Yeah.
And this is gonna be our dinner tonight. This pizza, so
Yes.
you should make this for your dinner.
Absolutely. And I'm also putting some grated Parmesan cheese on. Okay, for the other cheese.
So that'll give another kick to it. Make it taste even better.
Love it. Okay, so how are you feeling about your chicken? I think it looks awesome. I really do. Very nice.
This is my first time actually cooking chicken, so I'm just like.
I give you 5 stars. High marks for
I
that.
was like, I was thinking to myself, am I gonna burn them or am I gonna like?
Is it going to be difficult? Yeah, it was pretty easy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Not
and
bad.
then turn it off and it'll be like.
Yep. So now, if you want me to help put this on at the top of the
It's a
pizza?
little hot.
Yeah, we've got Grace kind of up on a little stool here so she can see a little bit better.
Yeah, because if I'm not, yeah.
You'd be down a little bit lower, have a harder time getting on top of that skillet there. Okay, so now we just put our chicken down, then we're going to put the rest of the cheese on top. So that would be something, if you don't mind helping me with that part. Yeah, just on top of the chicken we have. And then this is going to go back into the oven. We're going to bake for another 10 to 15 minutes.
So then we'll come back again.
Yeah, we'll get to show you how it all turns out. Okay, Grace, 10 minutes have gone by and our pizza has come out of the oven. Yeah, it was fast, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like really fast.
Fast video time here. And with the magic of some editing, we have our final pizza. And what do you think?
I think it looks really good.
We are going to finish this off with some toppings. And so we're going to be doing kind of like you would for a Caesar salad for the topping on our pizza. And I love this because it gives such a nice fresh look and finish to our dish. And so we have some lettuce here in this container, and to that we're going to add some green onion. And Grace is going to help me with that. She's had one that she already chopped up to put in with our greens.
And I stirred it with a spoon.
Okay.
You can do it with a little
tongs.
Mm-hmm. But I'm not good with tongs, so I just use a spoon. And a spoon works too if you don't want to use tongs, then you can use a spoon too.
Excellent. Okay, so Grace is using some kitchen shears here, so
and
you can use
like
scissors.
But actually meant for kitchen.
Yeah.
If you have kids doing this, just tell them use some regular like scissors, but be careful because they're sharper than scissors. So yeah.
Good tip. I like that.
Yeah.
And to the mixture here of the greens and the green onion that we are combining, we're also going to be adding a little bit more of that Caesar dressing. And so I'm going to help Grace with that. We have 1 more tablespoon of that left. And so it's just a nice light coating because obviously we already put a little bit on our chicken and also on the crust of our pizza. And so we've been building that flavor with each layer that we're making. Awesome job, Grace.
It's a good recipe to teach children how to use different utensils and stuff.
You know,
and teach them how to cook too.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Okay, Squirt. It's time to put this on top of the pizza. Do you want to do that? Do the honors? You've done all the work on that.
Do you want to?
Yeah, we're just going to basically sprinkle it over the top. And Taste of Home always has a picture that comes along with the recipe. And so I love the pictures because then you can look at the picture and you kind of know what you're shooting for here. But you just want to,
recipe right there too.
We do, so we can refer to that and follow right along. And then we're also going to be adding some chopped tomatoes to the top, and we have those ready to go here. But the recipe calls for a plum tomato, which is a nice meaty tomato. I like to use those for dishes like this where you don't want a lot of excess juices on the top of our pizza. And if it's in the off season for tomatoes, you might also consider using either grape tomatoes or cherry tomatoes because those tend to be nice and ripe year-round and they just look a little better than, you know how sometimes the tomatoes just don't look very ripe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen that many times.
Yes. So now I'm just sprinkling these tomatoes on and then we'll get our pizza cutter out and cut this into some squares, but I think it's time for us to go get your uncle and have ourselves some dinner here. What do you say?
Yeah.
Here is our chicken Caesar pizza.
It's very good.
And thank you so much, Grace, and thank you guys for watching.
I hope I'll be in another video. Bye.
Because we want to do this thing, we kind of want to eat before it's midnight.